happening, guys? It's Bharat Nagpal for iGyaan.in, and today we're going to be looking at the iPhone 5 and the HTC Windows Phone 8X. Now, both of these devices recently launched in India, come upwards of 35,000 rupees. Actually, you can get the Windows Phone 8X for about 35,000 rupees, and the iPhone 5 will cost you 45,500 for the 16GB variant, 52,500 for the 32GB variant, and 59,500 for the 64GB variant. Now, the iPhone 5 is definitely much more expensive compared to the HTC Windows Phone 8X, and there might be several reasons for that, and there might be none depending on how you look at it. So let's start off with build quality, and we'll talk about the iPhone 5. Now, the iPhone 5 is definitely better built compared to the iPhone 4S and any other generation of iPhone, especially because of the fact that it has a unibody back shell as well versus the glass back of the iPhone 4S or the iPhone 4. So it makes it 50% less breakable compared to the previous generation. Also, the fact that the bezel is much more solid and the way it is designed does not allow for the device to break easily when it falls on the floor, which has been tested out on several videos on YouTube, which you can see. The iPhone 5 also stands a little bit tougher versus the competition. Now, you do have a Apple strengthened glass in the front, which may be a variation of Gorilla Glass that Apple uses. This is highly bendable and twistable, so in your jeans pocket, no matter how tight your jeans are, the iPhone will not bend or break. Similarly, if we look at the Windows Phone 8X, it has a polycarbonate shell at the back, which is a soft touch finish, but it is a solid polycarbonate shell. It is very, very tough, and it's like the HTC One X, almost at par with the qualities of the One X or the One X Plus. Now, if we talk about the exteriors of both these devices, let's talk about the Windows Phone 8X first. The Windows Phone 8X has a 2.1 megapixel front-facing camera, which does do full HD video, and you have a speakerphone grill over here. You do have a nice and large display, which is a 4.3-inch display. It has a resolution of 1280 by 720, which makes it 342 pixels per inch. That's actually more than what your eye can see. So that's 323 plus an additional 19 pixels that you have for the Windows Phone 8X. The iPhone 5, on the other hand, has a larger, compared to the 3.5 inch on the 4 and the 4S, you have a larger 4 inch 640 by 1136 pixel display, which gives it a standard iPhone Retina display, which is a 326 pixels per inch. Now, both of them have Corning Gorilla Glass, but the iPhone 5 also has an oleophobic coating on it, which makes it slightly oil resistant. If we talk about chipsets, the iPhone 5 has a dual-core Apple A6 processor, which is running at 1.2 gigahertz. Over here is a Qualcomm Snapdragon processor, which is running the 1.5 gigahertz dual-core Crate CPU. For GPU, iPhone 5 has PowerVR SGX 543 MP3 triple-core graphics GPU. The Windows Phone 8X has an Adreno 225 GPU. Now, the iPhone is obviously running iOS 6, whereas the Windows Phone 8X is running Windows Phone 8, as appropriately named. Windows or Microsoft has called this their flagship phone for 2012 as well. So that's about it for the basic front. If we look at the back of these devices, you have both of them come with 8 megapixel cameras with autofocus and LED flash. You do get a inbuilt panorama mode, face detection, HDR in the iPhone 5. Whereas in this you get autofocus, LED flash, and that's about it. Of course, you have touch to focus, which you do have in both the devices, and you do have geotagging of images as well. The front-facing camera of the iPhone 5 is a FaceTime HD camera, which does do FaceTime over Wi-Fi as well as cellular, but it does only video at 720p at 30 frames per second and not a 1080p like the Windows Phone 8X. Now, the Windows Phone 8X cannot make video calls over 3G networks, but it can make Skype calls or Tango calls over Wi-Fi or data networks. Now, the iPhone 5 is only available in a white or black color, whereas the Windows Phone 8X is available in a flurry of colors, including a blue, the graphite black that you see here, the flame red, the limelight yellow, which is also one of the most popular colors for the Windows Phone 8X. So that's a bit about the hardware. If we talk about the exterior bits again, you'll see that on the iPhone 5, you have the FaceTime HD camera over here, a couple of sensors, the earpiece, the Retina display, 4-inch Retina display is here. You have the standard iPhone style home button at the bottom. Now at the bottom, they've changed these bits. Let me get rid of this cover that I have here. You have a 3.5mm headphone jack with the microphone, which is over here. You have the new lightning connector as well as the speakerphone. Now the phone is very, very slim at just 7.6mm throughout. So it feels really good and light in the hand as the weight is only 112 grams. If you look at the right hand side, you have the nano SIM card slot, which is over here. On the top is the power lock and unlock button, and on the left is the volume rockers along with a lock or mute unmute switch, which is conveniently placed on the device. If we look at the Windows Phone 8X, we have a front facing 2.1 megapixel camera, the earpiece, and you have the 4.3-inch display, which is a very high resolution display. You have the 3 touch capacitive buttons for Windows Phone 8. On the right, you have a dedicated camera shutter button along with volume rockers and a micro SIM card slot on the device over here. On the top, you have a 3.5mm headphone jack and a microphone. And on the back is the 8 megapixel camera. You also have Beats audio inbuilt into the device, so you have a logo for that and the speakerphone over here. I forgot to mention one thing, and which is really very nice on the iPhone 5, is that you have 3 microphones. So you have a microphone which is placed in front of the earpiece, you have a microphone which is placed over here, and you have a microphone at the back next to the camera. So what that does is it does active noise cancellation. So we've actually used this while talking to another iPhone 5. I've noticed that background noise cancellation is absolutely brilliant on this, especially over voice calls, because it takes the ambient sound and cancels it with the front microphone and the back microphone and gives only your audio. That's absolutely brilliant. It's a new technology that Apple has used, has not been seen on phones anywhere till date. Everyone does put in a secondary microphone in locations like such, but we've never seen the kind of noise cancellation that we've seen on the iPhone 5. So that's truly, truly impressive on the iPhone 5. That's a bit of the hardware. Whether that justifies the price or not, I don't know. Let's go ahead and look at the software bits. So let's talk about the interface a little bit. If you look at the iPhone 5, you have the standard iPhone-esque lock screen over here. You get your notifications over here if you have any missed calls or any other notification. You can quickly jump to the camera from here as well. So simply sliding it up goes to the camera, and you can simply slide the screen to unlock it. You get your date and time information along with your network information on the top, your battery over here. And if you have any other connections such as Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, they will also show up in the top in the notification panel. And that's about it. If you look at the new Windows Phone 8 screen, and now you have the ability to customize this. So you have, as you can see over here, I have the weather information showing up right now. You can also add your live feeds from Facebook or any other application that has tied up with Windows Phone to make that information available on the lock screen. The applications have to go through a tedious signing process to allow this information. So if you do have an app that you're developing that could show such information on the lock screen, you have to submit it to Windows or to Microsoft for them to allow you to show their information on the front screen or the lock screen. You can also get your calendar information along with any scheduled events that you may have, along with missed calls, messages, and emails at the bottom of the list over here. Simply slide the screen up on the Windows Phone 8X and you will see this new tile layout section over here. Now you can rearrange tiles by simply holding on them and changing their sizes. You can also move tiles around if you'd like to do that. So if you relocate tiles, you can customize them as per your requirement. The interface is fairly simple to use, and this time around offers a lot of customization simply because of the ability to rearrange tiles. But the fact that you can only change the color of the tiles and nothing else is what limits the fact of customization. You also have an extensive list of applications over here, and if you want to add any application to the start menu, you can simply do that by holding down on any of the applications and saying pin to start. Once you do that, it will show up on the front menu and you can change the size or just place it as it is. Not all applications have the ability to become full-size applications. If you have any sort of live content going in them, you can make them a full-size live tile of sorts. So you can see that the photos live tile keeps moving and keeps showing images. So the interface is quite nice. It keeps moving, it keeps changing, gives you a slight bit of interaction at all times. If you have a weather widget over here, it will continue to show you weather. If you have your date and time weather information widget that has been given by HTC, which you can make into a larger size as well, gives you the date, gives you the time as well as the weather, and then you have a calendar app that gives you all of that as well. Now the best thing about this new interface is that you can leave a lot of gap in the middle, unlike the previous generation where you had to constantly fill up space between the live tiles. So in case you have some private content, you can move it further down and hide it from the first person's eye who would just probably browse to say this bit and see nothing else is there and kind of leave it, where you can move stuff to the bottom. The interface is very smooth and fluid, and I have seen rarely any lag from the Windows Phone 8 operating system. It is missing a notification panel, which we would have really liked. You do get your notifications on the top, and tapping on them quickly takes you to that notification app, but you don't have a full-fledged notification panel. So if you miss an app, or if you miss a phone call, or you miss a message, that notification just comes into the live tile. So instead of a notification center or a notification bar, you have live tiles that give you live notifications. So I have 7 emails here, 5 emails here, 3 messages here. So that's the kind of notification system Windows Phone has built into their OS. Let's talk about the iPhone 5 now. Once you slide to unlock, you are greeted with this familiar tile or application layout. Let me quickly change the background. For the purpose of this video, I have removed the background and made it a black background so that you guys can see clearly. Of course, you can change wallpapers in the background as well as the wallpaper of the lock screen very conveniently in iOS. You can't do that in Windows Phone 8X. The maximum you can do is change the image. Instead of showing the weather, you can show an image in the lock screen, but you don't have a background wallpaper on Windows Phone. So if we look at the difference between this, here you have live tiles, here you have static icons. It has been quite some time, essentially the beginning of iOS, that we have been used to these kind of icons. It was much later where Apple allowed third-party applications on iOS, but still till then the apps have been more or less the same style of apps from the first day till now. You can move apps around very simply just by holding them down. You can't resize them or anything, but you can move them around, and you can also create folders by simply dragging an application over another application and creating a folder of sorts, like so. You can also drag applications within folders or remove them from folders at ease. You can also rename your folders and delete folders at ease as per your requirement again. Once you remove all applications from a folder, the folder is automatically deleted. Earlier, iOS had this badge sort of notification system, but now Apple has added a notification bar, which gives you your calendar updates. It also allows you to quickly tweet or post to Facebook from the live notification panel. I can also get my weather information, which I don't currently have right now. But you can see I have stocks running over here. I have Facebook notifications, Instagram notifications. Everything just shows up in my notification panel, which is really convenient if I have missed a phone call or I have messages, etc. that I have missed. If you do come into the dialer, you cannot search for contacts. You have to go back to the home screen, come to the dialer all over again, and then search for contacts in the contacts of the People's tab. You can also quickly do that by quickly jumping into the People tab if you have that conveniently placed. So that's one way of doing it. But if you're in the dialer, if you reach the phone dialer, you cannot initiate a phone call. In iOS, however, you can simply search for a number by simply pressing here, or you can just quickly go into search and then search for a contact address, which is fairly simple to do. You do have this search button over here, but it searches the web, not your content. So that's Bing search. That's completely different. However, you do have those options over here as well. So let's talk about internet browsers on both these devices. I'm going to quickly open up Safari on iOS as well as Internet Explorer on Windows Phone 8. You'll see that iOS will open up the native mobile app. Let me quickly switch to the classic website. Now both these devices are running on 3G on totally different networks, so you can't compare the speeds actually, but let me show you what the browsers are capable of. So the browser on Windows Phone 8 is one of the most responsive browsers available. Of course, you have a pinch and zoom in, which is really fluid, as you can see over here. You have really nice panning and overall really nice experience on the interface. Both of them don't play flash content in terms of you do have Silverlight on Windows, but you don't have flash content on iOS at all. What happens with the iPhone is that No matter how fast Windows is, you can see that there is a slight bit of lag in our simple scroll over here. You will not see that. It's very smooth. You can see the basic difference over here. Apple also has this rubber banding effect on their devices, which makes it a slight bit of a UI treat or a visual treat while panning and scrolling through. You can see that it's still one of the most responsive OSs, and pinching and zooming etc. is probably the fastest on the iPhone. Now you can open multiple tabs on this. It's very easy to do that. You can open pages. Now I'm talking about stock browsers. Various third-party browsers are available on both devices, and you can choose to install any of those. You also have the very popular Google Chrome available on iOS. I'm not too sure if it's available on Windows Phone. So this is how you look at tabs on iOS and Windows Phone. You can quickly scroll through pages on iOS over here, and you can simply look through tabs on the other Windows Phone 8X. Simply quit tabs is as easy as that. In both cases, you are left with empty pages. Now, like I said, iOS has this really nice notification panel, gives you all your notifications in a convenient place. On Windows Phone, that's simply laid out over here. In terms of overall interaction, you have an app store over here. You can download tons and tons of applications, over 600,000 applications on the iOS store. Whereas on Windows Phone right now, you have just about 200,000 applications. Lots of very important for people applications such as Instagram and Pinterest are not yet available on Windows Phone, but they will be soon enough because Windows Phone is gaining popularity, so a lot of developers will start developing for Windows Phone as well. Let me quickly do a comparison of the camera applications on both the devices. We've already done videos of camera capture on both these devices. Now the iPhone 5 has optical image stabilization while capturing video at 1080p. If you look at the Windows Phone 8X camera, you will see that you can switch from video mode over here, and you can pull out settings from here where you can do photo settings or video settings. If you go into photo settings, you have some effects which are just the standard for effects. If I don't want those, coming back, you have a resolution of up to 8 megapixel for photo, and you can set the white balance, you can set the exposure, you can set the contrast, you can also set the saturation, just sharpness, ISO, face detection, etc. And you can also switch video settings where you can put some effects, resolution. You can also change the white balance, contrast, saturation and sharpness of the video capture. You can also switch to the front facing camera. You can turn flash on or off, or you can go into lenses, which is a new thing that Windows has done. It allows you to quickly put lenses on your camera, and for example with Bing Vision you get augmented reality on your camera. With the iPhone 5 you have several applications that you can download for AR, including the layer application. But if I talk about the camera simply, you don't have a lot of options in the camera. You can quickly tap turn flash on or off, or put it in auto mode. You can go into options to turn on the grid. You can also click HDR or high dynamic range images, and you can also click a panorama by simply tapping on the panorama and dragging it across. You can also switch to the front facing camera and say hello to our mics and our camera equipment, and switch back to the rear facing camera. You can switch from video to photo simply by pressing here, and you can just tap this button to quickly capture video or images. In both cases, while you're capturing video, you can capture images as well. Looks like the phone is way ahead of me. The next thing I'm going to show you guys is multitasking. So whatever you have running in your device on the Windows Phone 8X, you can quickly access by pressing the back button, and you get this page sort of layout where you can switch between applications. So if you have Bing running over here, you can switch to Bing. If you want to quickly jump back to your phone dialer, you can press down on the back button and jump down to the phone dialer. It's fairly easy to do, not a lot of effort has to be put into this. Quitting applications can be a task, as if you have so many applications running in the background, you have to press the back button several times to quit through all applications until you have just one card left, which is the home screen card. On iOS, however, double pressing the home button will initiate this multitasking panel where you can quickly search through all your running applications. As you can see, I have a crazy load of running applications over here. If I need to quit an application, I just simply press on the button or press down on the application where it starts to jiggle, and I just simply press the minus button to quit the application from my background memory. I can also scroll to the left to turn orientation on or off, and I can also quickly access my music player directly from here. I also have a speakerphone volume rocker which is located over here, and that's about it. So those are the basic UI elements of both the devices. Now, of course, you will get in-depth look at both these devices when I do a full review for both of them. But as you can see, the major layout is between the layout of this of the UI. You have live tiles running over here. I do have a Me tab or a Me tile which gives me all the information about me. So my notifications, my updates will show up in the Me tile which goes to the Me application. Similarly, we don't have anything of that sort for iOS. It does not give me any sort of updates related to notifications or updates from particular people. You do get notifications from Facebook if you have anybody who's added anything related to you, which is the standard Facebook app giving you updates. Nothing where everything is organized. So if you go into the People Hub, it gives you updates from all your friends in what's new. So whatever they are doing on Facebook, whatever they're doing on Twitter, you get all sorts of updates in the what's new section. Like I said, we are on 3G. Our network is a little slow. You can see that everyone's updates just show up over here, which is really convenient if you are very socially active. You can also see recent calls show up in the same tile layout over here, and you can see what people are up to in the what's new section. Even updates from iGyaan show up over here. One more convenient thing that HTC does is lets you create rooms. So if you have all your family, you can put them in rooms or groups as they like to call it. So if all your information from your family will come into the family room, and all your information from your friends or buddies can come into the buddies group, for example. So that's really cool. The last thing I'm going to show you guys is voice features. Now, of course, everyone is aware of Siri on iOS. Windows Phone also has a similar sort of voice layout. So let me quickly test both of them for you guys. So for Siri, I'm going to ask the weather. What is the weather like?
The weather's looking good through Saturday. Up to 26 degrees and sunny.
So you can see Siri gives us the weather information through Saturday. You have your live tile located over here. Let me see what Windows Phone does. What's the weather like? So what it does is it initiates a Bing search. It's not as intuitive as Siri or as Google now. It just gives you what is the weather like in a search. But you can do other things with the Windows Phone voice search. For example, let me dial 1234. So in instances like such,
calling 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, Barad, I can't call 1, 2, 3, 4.
In cases where you can't initiate phone calls, Siri completely complies with the ability of your SIM card and tells you that you can't initiate a phone call to 1234. Here's the same thing on Windows Phone. Dial 1234. So you can see that it missed out my 2 and it starts to dial 134, whereas it's not allowed to call 134 from my SIM card. While Siri can do tons of things like read last message or check number of emails, Windows Phone can send messages, read last message, Windows Phone cannot do such thing. Read last email. It takes a long time for it to calculate what you have said, and most of the times it's wrong and it's not really compatible with the Indian voice, whereas Siri has somehow become accustomed to the voice, whereas I've used both the phones almost equally as much. Check email.
Okay, Barad, I found at least 25 emails.
So you can see it found 25 emails from several places over here. If I do the same thing with the Windows Phone voice search, check email, it will just do a web search for check email, which is quite disappointing, honestly. So there you go, guys. This was a quick look or comparison between Windows Phone 8X and the iPhone 5's user interface and hardware. I hope you guys like this. We're going to try and make a similar video for the HTC One X and the iPhone 5. Also another video for the Galaxy S3, the iPhone 5 and the Galaxy Note 2 within the same video, if you guys like that. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Guys, remember the like, dislike is for our video content, not for the devices that you see inside the video. So in case you don't like a device, don't give us a thumbs down because it reduces our rankings. Give the video a thumbs up so that we can continue to create more content for you guys. It gives us a push. And if you do have any criticism or feedback that you would like to give us, please do leave them in the comment section below. We do take care and notice all comments that you guys leave, even though we may not reply to them. You can check out more details on this on iGyaan.in, and you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Google+. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/iGyaan, youtube.com/iGyaanTV. For more updates on this, stay tuned and we'll be back with several other videos like these. This has been Bharat Nagpal. Thank you guys for watching.